Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. Of course, my name is Nick, and here we do talk toys, pop culture, and or general nerddom of all kinds, and sometimes, just sometimes, when there are other things to be gotten into, we do talk a little bit about other subjects. Today is not going to be one of those times, however, because this is the first long-form video I have posted in a great minute. Again, time constraints, work, and things like that have actually prevented me from doing this, but I have posted a bunch of shorts, and you guys seem to have stuck with it and watched them, so I do appreciate all of you for doing so. And in lieu of that, go ahead and hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification bell for me so you know when I post more, because there is always something coming down the pipe on this channel. So what are we going to review today? So one of my favorite movies is Return of the Living Dead. And, you know, it's the titular George Romero zombie flick. It is super campy and super amazing. If you have not seen the original Return of the Living Dead, it's pretty awesome. At the end of it, they blow up Louisville, Kentucky. I mean, and I'm from Kentucky, so I feel like that's great. I mean, not blowing up Kentucky, of course, but I feel like it's great that they would set a zombie movie in Kentucky. So, that said, guys, this figure's pretty amazing. Now, this figure did come with its flaws. I will forewarn you and preface this. I got this figure, and I filmed half the review a couple of weeks ago when I got it from a company called Replay Toys. Now, I'm not going to sit and bag on Replay too much. I was able to get this figure. I got it out of the box, and one of the arms snapped out of the box. I put very little pressure on it. It just seemed to be a flaw with the figure. After I emailed Trick or Treat Studios, they looked at it. They couldn't replace it because, of course, they don't have this in stock. And Replay was well within their return window limit, and they do have them in stock. However, Replay told me that they were going to contact Trick or Treat Studios, in which case I'm not sure if they ever did or they ever did anything like that. Because, you know, outside the return window we got, and no one ever emailed me back, even though they promised they would. So, again, probably not the best practice from a company. I'm not sure why they did that, and I'm not sure if it's going to be something that everyone's going to encounter. But again, to me, it just seems like a bad business practice to do that. But the good news is I was able to repair this figure with the old drill and pin method. His elbows do move again, and they do rotate like they're supposed to. That said, guys, let's go ahead and punch in and review the Trick or Treat Studios 1/6 scale Tarman action figure.
Who's there?
Alright guys, here we have the box for the Trick or Treat Studios Return of the Living Dead Tarman 1/6 scale action figure. As you can see, it is the poster from the movie. They're back from the dead and ready to party. Well, you know what? I'm ready to party too. We have an adult collector's age 17 plus, not a toy here. Big Return of the Living Dead logo. We got trash and suicide here. And then we got the 1/6 scale Tarman figure down here and the Trick or Treat Studios logo. Down the side, we'll get the Return of the Living Dead logo, and of course more of the 1/6 scale and Trick or Treat logos. On the back, we get a decent picture of Tarman chilling from the movie. Down here, we get some legalese. On this side, more of the same with the Return of the Living Dead logo. And at the top, you'll get a Return of the Living Dead 1/6 scale Tarman figure again. Now, at the bottom, there is some more legalese. And right here is a barcode. I was able to pick this up locally. It's been long since sold out on Trick or Treat Studios' site. I picked them up for about $159.99. You can pause if you want that barcode, though. Before we get into that, though, he doesn't want your heart. He wants to pick your brains. You see a big old red Tarman face here, and here is Tarman looking appropriately Tarman-y inside the box. The plastic obscures him pretty bad, so let's bust this guy out and take a closer look at Tarman. Alright guys, so here's what Tarman comes with. As you can see, we got a big juicy brain here with a big old bite taken out of it. It is appropriately wet looking and bloody. It has of course been dislodged from its host. It does have the brain stem here hanging out, which is pretty cool. And then we get the other head for Tarman. Now this head is the animatronic head, if I'm not mistaken. And they used this in a few scenes. Now the other head on the figure is basically the one they used with the actor in it. This one, of course, was an animatronic puppet head. As you can see here, though, the paintwork on this is really great, and the sculpt is amazing. It does look appropriately wet and gooey. He's got them big old googly Tarman eyes, but they ain't googling much. And if you open the mouth here, you get the big old pink tongue. The teeth are painted appropriately yellow. He's like, more brains, you know, which is pretty cool. Again, these are the only two accessories you get, but what else do you need if you're the Tarman? Alright guys, it doesn't take brains to figure out that this is an amazing figure out of box. As you can see, Trick or Treat Studios spared no expense on detail with this guy. He does look incredibly wet and goopy. You can see the transition on top of his head to his eyes here. The jaw is movable. His head does go all the way around, tilt side to side. He does have a bit of ab crunch and waist swivel, but this tar-like waist here actually stops the swivel. The arms do go all the way out to the T-pose. They will go all the way around. He does have single jointed elbows, and the arms do have a bit of rotation. You're not going to get a whole lot out of him just because of the way his arms are shaped. This figure actually had to be repaired. I filmed the first part of this review a couple of weeks ago, and his elbow ended up snapping on this side. Now, I did email the store that I got this from, and they gave me some spill about emailing Trick or Treat Studios, which I'd already done. So the store didn't want to replace it, even though they had one in stock, which I feel like that's bad business, especially when you're in the return window. But let's move on this. He does have wrist rock, wrist rotation. He does have hip joints. These clothes here prevent him from actually doing any sort of splits. His knees are single jointed, so he can't kick his own ass or anything. He's not going to be doing any martial arts moves in these pants. These are kind of a, I don't know, sort of a rubber overlay maybe, or plasticky. I don't know. They go with the tar thing quite a bit. And of course you got some Tarman toes down here. And again, these clothes look very decayed, very decrepit, just like he did when he crawled out of the trioxin container. He does have some wet clothing hanging off of him via these little strips here. The detail is great. As you can see, his ribs here are nice. The teeth are nicely painted. We do have that tongue in there. And even the eyeballs have some vein work, if you could see that there. Let me pan out a little bit. So all in all, guys, this is a great package of a figure. As you can see here, you can see his spine. Again, all the bells and whistles from the movie that you love. This is a great figure. Even if it did have to be repaired, it's still going to be one of the favorites on my 6 scale shelf. Let's go ahead and do some size comparisons. Alright guys, here we have a size comparison between the Trick or Treat Studios 6 scale Tarman action figure and Papa Emeritus 2 from Trick or Treat Studios. Now the papal miter on Papa Emeritus does make him taller than Tarman. However, with the papal miter removed, they are the same height, and they do fit in. It looks like they almost fit in the same universe. So Trick or Treat Studios did knock this out of the park. As we get closer to Tarman here, I'm going to go ahead and give him a 10 out of 10, even though I did have to repair his arm. We used the old drill and pen method, and it works just fine. The elbow does bend, the arm does rotate. So I'm pretty proud of doing that, considering it was my first time I've ever fixed a figure. Guys, thanks for hanging out with me today and reviewing the 1/6 scale Trick or Treat Studios Tarman action figure from the movie Return of the Living Dead. Guys, great figure, 10 out of 10, even if it did have its flaws, and even if I did have a few problems with it, with the company that sold it to me. You know, I was able to fix it, so no harm, no foul there, I suppose. It's just I probably won't be doing business with that company anymore due to the practice of not emailing anyone back or even making an effort to exchange this figure. So, you know, boo on them, I suppose. But anyway, again, guys, you guys are legendary for tuning into the channel. You guys have literally left comments, things like that, and I definitely appreciate every single one of you for doing so. There's this new feature at the bottom called the hype button. If you guys enjoyed the video today, smash that hype button, hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification bell. And as always, guys, do good, be good, stay legendary, because I know you are, and I love every single one of you for it. Keep on collecting, and I will see you in the next video.